All right, our part two, we're going to look at some real life situations with Social Security, how it can affect you or somebody you know, a grandparent or a parent perhaps, who's getting ready to take Social Security perhaps, or somebody who is disabled. We're going to be more focusing on the Social Security aspect, just because that's what I'm more familiar with. But we will also look at some of the disability items. I would also encourage you that you don't have to do it now because I'm going to do it. But at other point, you're going to want to go in and actually open up some of the links that I have. I have some links thrown in here that are in blue. That's going to take you directly to the site that I'm referencing. So I'm going to give you kind of a little overview, a little snapshot, and it's not going to give you all the information you need just because it's not going to, there's no need to go through it everything possible detail. But if that is something that actually interests you or affects you and your family, then that is something you'll want to dig in deeper to find out more. So that's why I put a lot of these links in, because I'm just trying to hit the high points and then you go in and find what you really need. All right, so what is Social Security? There's federal income taxes, and then there's this Social Security pot. It's a big pot of basically what it is forced retirement. And it's a good thing that the government did that, in my opinion, because otherwise, as we'll see as we get further down, about a fifth of the population and even closer to a third live on Social Security alone once they retire. So they haven't put money aside to help pay for their expenses after the age of 65-ish. And so the government kind of probably realized that and said, hey, we need to have some kind of a support system out there. So you are forced to pay in a little bit all throughout while you work. So then you'll have a little bit later on. So I don't necessarily agree with a lot of things the government does. I'm one of the ones that likes the government to stay out of my business. But this was one thing that I think they did well, because people don't necessarily plan very well long term. They don't think 20, 50 years into the future. So this is to set up a fund, a separate fund. It's not just your fund. It's everybody's money is all put into one big bucket, and then it's going to grow interest. And so that's how it continually stays, has money in it. That's one of the reasons that it's not just sitting there doing nothing. It is growing interest. One of the questions I get when I'm doing taxes, and they'll say, hey, I'm getting Social Security taken out, but when I retire in 40 years, it's going to be gone, right? I say, no, it's not. That's one of the big misdemeanors that people hear. Misdemeanors, I don't know how you say that. Social Security is not going to be gone. As long as people are still working and paying into it, there's still going to be money there to take out. Now, it may not be as much as is in there right now, because right now, and this is not set in stone. I don't have this one down memorized, but it's about 3 to 4 people are paying into Social Security for every one person taking out. 30 years ago, that number was more like 7 or 8 people putting into Social Security. The baby boomers were putting into Social Security, and then very few were taking out of Social Security. Now that the baby boomers are beginning to retire, the first wave have pretty much retired. We're kind of, if you think of it in 3 waves, we're in the second wave. They are now retiring as well. So there's even less people now putting in. That's why it's down to like 3 or 4 people putting in for every one taken out. And it's estimated that maybe in 30 years, there may only be 2 people putting in for every one taking out. So there could definitely be less money going into Social Security, but will it run out? The answer is no. Because people, as long as Social Security, and I don't see that ever going away, I don't see that Social Security mandate ever going away, that we will always have money being put in to the system. Therefore, you'll have something to take out. Now, it may not be the full amount that you thought you were going to get. They may have to reduce it, or what they did recently, they may have to raise the retirement age. Like, so it used to be 65. But now, as we'll see in a few more minutes, it's gone up to age 67 is the new normal. That amount that age could continue to go up as life expectancies go up with better medicines, better living conditions. All right, so the next question I thought was pretty interesting is, well, how much is actually collected in Social Security and then therefore paid out in Social Security every year? Well, let's take a look at that. This sheet gives a nice summary for the last 60, 70 years. You look back, Social Security has been going on since the middle 30s. So this is just starting at 57. I don't know why they picked 57. They just did. So in 1957, notice these are in millions. So if it was just this number right here, it'd be 90 million. If you go all the way out, this goes out to, so this is in 1957, total money going into Social Security was $8,090 million. Money being paid out, not that much different, just a little bit, 7,567 million. So a difference. They did have a net increase, so that's nice. And in the prior years, think of this as kind of what's still left in the big pot. There's still 23 billion left because they've been adding. And so this year they added another 500 million. And then in the next year, they only added 200 million. Now they may have started getting a little nervous here back in 1959 when they like, oh boy, more people are taking out. Maybe it's for disability purposes. Maybe that was a big retirement year for whatever reason. More people are taking out than putting in. So now our pot is dwindling. And it was dwindling on and off through the 60s. And then it started it went up a little bit and it started dwindling again a little bit more consistently in the mid 70s. They're like, oh boy, what's going on? We're back down to where we started. We're only at 24 billion in the reserves. And you can go through that pretty quick. In 10 years, you could easily go through that. But then the baby boomers kicked in and you can see there was lots of years of surplus. So this number was growing and growing and growing. It's up to here in 1996, 566 billion. Still growing. 2007 was basically the pinnacle. The year that we had the most people taken out. And this is the year when baby boomers started to turn it around and start retiring. Look how much money was in the system. And it's still going up, but $2.2 trillion now in reserves to pay for a rainy day because we had all this nice, prosperous years. Now it's starting to go back down, and then it's starting to go down pretty quickly. And you can see in the last couple of years, we're only in the positives just barely. We're almost ready to turn it back around negative to where we're not going to have as much coming in as being paid out. But we're okay. We have a whole bunch of cushion here to get us through some down times until the baby boomers begin to die off, which in 15, 20 years, that's going to happen. And then we'll see what the next wave looks like. But we've got some plenty of cushion here. So 2.8 trillion in reserves. So we're going to have Social Security for a while. So I thought that this sheet was very informative. Okay, so I basically have talked through all of those notes for part 3. All right, who's qualified to draw Social Security? Not just anybody can take Social Security. If you don't pay into Social Security, there's an exception though. If you don't pay into Social Security, then you don't get to take Social Security. So if you just don't work your whole life, you've never paid in anything, you don't have anything to take back out. The exception is if you're married and your spouse worked, then you can draw on your spouse's Social Security for yourself when your spouse starts to hit, when you and your spouse begin to hit retirement age. That would be a caveat to that rule. And that is designed to protect those who, especially back in the 50s and 60s when it was very common to have a stay-at-home mom take care of the family raise a big family. That was to protect her, especially when her husband would die. And it's pretty common that the male dies ahead of the female. Not every time, but that's the common. And therefore, she needed some kind of help, protection, because she didn't work. She took care of the family. That was the agreed upon it. And so that is one of the rules that says, yeah, the spouse can still draw Social Security, and we'll see how much. But for anybody else, if you want to be fully covered and that you're going to get Social Security when you retire, the absolute best case is you have at least 40 quarters of coverage, which when you think there's 4 quarters in a year, that's 10 years. So if you've worked for 10 years, then you are going to be fully covered, as long as you made at least the minimum that is for that quarter. Every year, this number goes up very little, maybe $20. But so maybe 20 years ago, this may have been down to like 1,000. But as long as you made this amount, which that's not very much when you're talking about an entire quarter. If you multiply this out for the entire year, that would be 26. That would be about 5,000, a little over 5,000 in total wages for the year. So almost anybody that works makes that at least that amount. If you work any amount of hours at all. If you want to know exactly how Social Security's credits are calculated and what all that means, just click there. That's going to give you an extra bit of information. But every time you make $13.60 in a quarter, that raises you up one closer to the 40 to be permanently insured. So then when you retire, you're going to get something. So you can also go to this chart to see who's fully covered. And then once you're fully covered, you can start taking money out. Usually it's this one. It's usually once you hit the age of 62. For all practical purposes, that's the age, the lowest age that you can start taking out. There are some exceptions, but this is the age when you can start taking out, but you're penalized. You can also start taking out if you become disabled. You can start taking money out before that age. The minimum you have to have is at least 6 quarters of coverage to start taking out. And it may not be as much as you normally would get, but the maximum that you absolutely can get is 40. Once after that, then it's just bonus. It's fine. You don't need it, but it's there. It's good to have. If you want to read through that, that's fine. That's just the Social Security rules that says, hey, you need to have 40 quarters of coverage to be fully insured. Read through that if you're interested in that a little bit more. I'm going to skip past that for now. How many people are actually collecting Social Security? So we looked at how much money was actually going into the system and coming back out, but it didn't really tell us the actual number of people. And I'm going to click on this chart, but I gave a quick little snapshot just to show you that the number collecting Social Security is actually going up, which would be expected. People are living longer. Every year, I'm sure in every it's not much every year, but maybe over a 10-year span, the age may go up a couple months, the average lifespan. Maybe it's more than that. I don't know. And more baby boomers are retiring. So it just makes sense that this number has gone up. Let's look at this. People collecting Social Security. Now, this chart is updated every month. So this is as of October 2020. My sheet was a couple months prior to that. So my numbers aren't going to match exactly. So my number actually goes back to December 2019. That's when I last updated this. 64 million were collecting Social Security only, not SSI. So that would be this one right here. So it's actually gone back down. It was 64, now it's back down to 61 for whatever reason. Maybe some of the baby boomers are dying off. I don't know. Maybe less people are delaying retirement. That could be one of the reasons. I'm not counting the Social Security and SSI. SSI is supplemental Social Security. That's extra. You can read about the supplemental if you're interested. That's more like for the really low income poverty level to get some extra money there. Oh, let me come down. This is actually the number I was looking for. So it is still the same. I'm sorry. Let's look at this number. When we look at the number of people drawing Social Security, this is the total beneficiaries. Total number 64,833. Let's compare that. 64. Yep, it's gone up actually. So that's what I would expect. 64,833. I'm not sure what the other number actually was. You can get a good idea. It's 64 million, almost 65 million total beneficiaries, 100% of people collecting just Social Security. And it tells you here how much is taken out per month and the average monthly benefits. So what somebody would typically get per month. On average, people are going to get more than that or less. So let's multiply that out. If we multiplied 1,466 cents times 12, that's not much of an income to live on when you're retired. So that's why it's very advisable that you have extra retirement to supplement. 16,000, that's poverty line. That's just slightly below poverty line. So hopefully by the time you retire, the reason this is a little bit lower is hopefully by the time you retire, 2 major items are going to be paid off, hopefully. Hopefully, if you have a mortgage, that will be paid off by then. If you're renting, well, that's not as good because a lot of your money is going to go towards, but sometimes when you're older, you're in an assisted living, and so things are a little different at that point then too. Hopefully your mortgage is paid off, and B, you wouldn't have any student loans by that point. So 2 big monthly payments that when you're in your 30s and 40s, you have to contend with, but you don't when you retire. You can see that that's the total, the average total. This includes those with disability. The average for just those collecting Social Security, just Social Security itself, is just slightly higher. You can see that why the averages go up or down just depending on who you are. Those just collecting Social Security because they're disabled, out of the 64 million, because this number's in thousands, so this would be, if it was just this number here, would be 3,833,000, 64 million. 9 million, 9.6 million are collecting Social Security just because of being disabled and what their annual or average monthly benefits are. So I thought this was a neat sheet just to see if there's 360 million individuals in the U.S. That's about 1 out of 6, so 18% roughly get some kind of Social Security, whether it be just the normal retirement, whether it be retirement for those of the deceased, or disability. So I thought that was an interesting sheet that you can look at in more detail by going to that link there. Again, I give you you can kind of see some prior amounts if you wanted to compare. Let's just compare here real quick. The disabled, let's see if it went up or down. The disabled compared to December of 2019, it was 9.9. Disabled is now 9.6. So it's actually gone down. That's good. Less people are needing disability. So for whatever reason, there's less disability, or less people are claiming it, or less people are getting approved for it. I don't know. Don't know the reasoning. And it actually has went down from June as well. So it was just over 10. Now it's on the middle of the 9 millions. I give you a couple more to compare if you want it. And then here's just a little bit of a snapshot on what the SSI is, the supplemental Social Security. And this is to help those who are really needing the extra funds. They're blind or have little to no income, basically. it meets the basic needs for those individuals. All right, so a very big important section here. When can I start taking Social Security? Well, that's going to depend on your normal retirement age. And then that normal retirement age is going to depend on how much you actually get out of your normal amount. I thought this chart was pretty good. But when we get before we get into it, let's just get three ages thrown out there. For most of us in this class, if you were born, I think the cutoff is 1960. We'll check that when we go to the sheet. I think it's 1960. If you were born anytime after 1960, maybe it's 1961, your normal retirement age is 67. That's when you can take 100% of what the calculation would come out to be, and we're going to do that later. That's when you can get the full amount. You can start taking out as early as 62. Anybody can, as long as you can get Social Security. That's the typical lowest age. The highest age that you would want to keep from withdrawing Social Security is age 70. If you don't collect after age 70, then you're not getting any special benefit. You're just losing out. If you wait till age 70, then at least you are going to be getting a bonus, because they're saying basically, thank you for not taking out of Social Security so we can pay other people. In return, we're going to give you a little bit extra. But they do stop it at age 70. They stop giving you extra. So you might as well take it at age 70. At age 62, you are going to be penalized. Because you're taking it early, you're taking it out of the system. You're probably then therefore not putting money into the system. So it's a double whammy. Less people putting in, more people taking out. So they're going to penalize you. All right, so let's look at the normal retirement age. It used to be age 65, and that's what most of us think of. And that's still the age for Medicare. Now, will Medicare change? Probably at some point it'll start matching Social Security, but right now it's still 65. Social Security, for most of your probably grandparents, are going to be in this category. A lot of your parents are going to be more in this category. And then most in this class are going to be in this category. And yeah, 1960 and later, your normal retirement age is now 67. Now, that doesn't mean in 20 more years that this is going to change again. It might say, okay, it'll be something like this. It'll say 1980 and prior, 67. 1981, 1982, all the way down to maybe 2000. Born 2000 and later, your retirement age is now 69. And that's just to keep people from drawing Social Security because they're living longer. So I thought this was a good sheet, and it's a sheet that definitely could change in the next 20 years. I would actually think that we would probably be likely that it would change, but that's just my speculation. All right, so at normal retirement age, you can get what's called your primary insurance amount. We're going to actually calculate that in a few more steps down below. What you should get if you wait to full retirement age, based on how much money you've made throughout the year. This one, I thought this one was good. This one tells you how much with a penalty you would be able to get. So I'm going to go way down to the bottom to where most of us are. And it shows here, let's get our, I wish they had a freeze frame so we could freeze this top. But up here, it's telling you what your normal retirement age is, and then how much you're going to get at the earliest point. And then at normal retirement age is the next to last, and then your top point, your absolute highest age. So let's go down to the very bottom. It's saying your normal retirement age is 67. So that's why over here it's 100% when you hit age 67. You can start drawing at 62, but you're heavily penalized. If you were normally going to get $1,000 every month, you would only get 70% of that. So 700. And that's going to be the amount that you're going to get for the rest of your life. You don't then jump up once you hit age 70 or 67 to 100%. No, if you decide to take early, you take the early penalty from there on out. And so that's just a risk that you would have to take. And I'm going to show you a chart here in just a few minutes, and I have it in your in the learning activities, a chart that kind of gives you a good idea. Well, should I start taking it early? Is it going to really hurt me long term? We'll see. And it's something you would definitely want to think about just based on your own standard of living. How you're healthy. How healthy are you? And that's so let's go ahead and look at that now. Should I withdraw at age 62? Should I wait till 66, 67? Should I even wait till age 70 and get a bonus? Is that better? Well, it depends on the person. There's not one right answer. How long are you going to live? Look at your family history. If you have a lot of family members that live well into their 90s and are still pretty well off, you may want to think about delaying your Social Security to at least the normal age. Well, you also got to think about, well, people in my family live a little longer, but they're not in very good health. They can't do anything with their money. Maybe you want to draw a little earlier then. How badly do you need the money? And then also you should withdraw first. Should you withdraw first and then wait for Social Security? And the answer is no. With Social Security, once you die, and let's say you don't have a spouse, your Social Security is done. That doesn't carry on and go to your heirs. There are some exceptions. Again, if you have dependents that live with you and their children, then yeah, they can still draw some Social Security. Or if you have a spouse, then yeah, they can still draw. But if it's just you're 80 years old, you have definitely grown adult children. Once you're dead, your Social Security is done. Whereas your 401k, you keep that. That goes on to your heirs. So you don't want to withdraw from your 401k. You want to hold that off as long as you can. No need to waste that money because it's not gonna disappear when you die. Social Security, it will. Now let's look at that. I have a sheet called the Social Security payout example in the learning activity. So I'm going to pull it up here. And what I did is I made a comparison. I did 3 different ages. I did age 62, 67, and age 70. And what I based it on, and I just said, let's say they have a payout of $18.83 a month. That is their payout that they're going to get. And we could put in any numbers. It's going to be, it's going to come out the same in the age bracket. So at 100%, this individual gets $18.83 a month, times that by 12 months, and this is how much they get per year out of Social Security. If they start collecting early, they get the penalty, 70%. So what I did is I just took this number here, their normal amount, at 70%. That's how much they're going to get instead of $22,000. So they're taking a cut. If they wait till age 70 and get the bonus, it's 8% per year for the 3 years. So up to 124%. Then you get quite a bit more. So when does it actually start hurting you to take it? Because obviously it's helping you up through age 67, or at least age 66. You're $80,000 ahead of the guy who isn't taking any money out yet. You've had more money to spend and enjoy. It doesn't happen. So what I did is I just keep adding the prior. So this one, 15,000, another 15,000, another 15. That's all I'm doing. 22, another 22, another 22. It's not until they hit the age 78 where it starts reversing, where the guy who waited till age 67 now will start having more and more money total than the person who started taking early. Yeah, they're getting more and more per year, but the guy over here still had more overall. It's not until the age of 78 where it turned around. So if you don't think you're going to live much past 78, 80, you might as well take it out at 62 and enjoy the money. enjoy it while you're in your younger years. And you can see the guy who who waits till age 70, he doesn't catch up until age 80. And then that's when that individual will move ahead of the first guy. And it's not until age 82 where the guy who waited till age 70 goes ahead of the guy who took it at 67. Now, if you think you're going to be really spry and into your older years, then yeah, at 88, the guy who waited has an extra 100 grand. So if you think you're going to live to age 90, it's worth it to wait. You're going to have a lot more money. A lot of people don't make it to 90, or if they do, they're not very well off. Can't enjoy it. So that, I thought that was a great tool to look at to see if it's worth it to take money out early. And I know a lot of people that do. They decide, yep, I'm going to go ahead and use it while I can. Take the hit. All right, so I talked through all that, your quality of life, and then the 401k. Social Security doesn't pass on, but your 401k does, so you want to keep as much in that as possible. Take out a Social Security first. All right. Number 8, is there a reduction in benefits? So if I start taking out at age 62 and I can enjoy some of that extra money, but I continue to work, will they stop me at some point? And the answer is yes. They're going to start holding some money back. If you're under the full retirement age, so your full retirement age, for most people would be 67, but could be as early as 65, depending on how old you are. $1 will be reduced from your Social Security for every $2 you earn over this threshold. So if you still have a decent job and you're still making pretty good money, decent money, and you hit the $18,000 mark, then you're not going to get your full Social Security check that you normally would. They're going to start reducing it. So I give you an example here just to show how that works. If you were to get $12,000 from Social Security, that was your normal monthly or yearly payment, and that's after the 70%. That's 70 with the 70% in there, and you currently earn 21 grand in wages, so you're over this threshold. What they're going to do is, because it's $1 for every 2 that you're over the limit. So first you got to find what you're over the limit. So almost 3,000, and you divide that by 2 because it's $1 for every 2. They're going to take out of the 12,000, you're going to receive $1,380 less. Once you hit full retirement age, then you can keep working and nothing is going to be taken out. You're going to get your full check, full Social Security check. It's basically, this is thrown in here to discourage you while you're still working and can work and do work, to not, and making normal, decent money at least, that not to take Social Security out. It's kind of a discourager there. So people will then ask, well, when should I start looking at and taking Social Security? You want to plan ahead at least 3 months before you want to start receiving Social Security, which, depending on your age and depending on if you want to take a penalty or not, it's going to differ. So 3 months. Start looking into it. Start filling out the paperwork 3 months prior. For Medicare, the same. 3 months prior to hitting 65, you want to start that paperwork. All right, so this is the next question. And this is, we kind of talked about this at the very beginning. Remember, you have to pay into Social Security to get it. And there were a couple exceptions. Can my non-working spouse get it? And the answer is yes. We talked about that. Your non-working spouse or low-earning spouse, even if they did work some, it may be more beneficial to them to take your Social Security even at a penalty. The spouse of a retired worker. So you're married and your husband or whoever just retired. If you have a child under the age of 16 or disabled, then you can start taking money out at that point. Or more likely, it's going to be this one. You need to be at least age 62. And it even applies to those who were divorced. If you were divorced but married at least 10 years, then you're able to draw on your ex-spouse's Social Security if it's more. So what I mean by that is if you are a spouse that didn't work or didn't work a whole lot, didn't work very many hours, you can take as much as 50% of the working spouse. Okay, so say I was married and my wife didn't work most of her adult life. And let's say I got $1,000 a month for Social Security. She can automatically claim up to 50%. So she can get an extra 500 to go towards her and the family. Now that 500, that's her normal amount. That would be if she waited till age 67. If she started taking out early, say age 62, then they're going to cut that 500 by 70%, or you only get 70%. Notice here, if you're caring for a qualifying child and you need to start drawing Social Security because of your spouse was now retired, it's not reduced as long as you are drawing a qualifying child. Now, once that qualifying child grows up, then you can at that point stop taking it until you get to that age of normal retirement age. Now, so you say that spouse, they can get 50% of the workers or 100% of their own. So you've got to do the calculation, and Social Security will do this for you. They'll say, okay, you're going to get 500 if you take your husband's, half of his, or if you do your own, it would be 720. So you'd want to do your own. It wasn't as much as maybe his because he worked more, had a higher paying job, whatever. But it's still better than taking 50%. Whereas if you didn't work very much and yours calculated out to be $120, then yeah, you would want to take his. You'd want to take 50%, the 500.
Is this if the spouse has passed away, or if
Nope.
if they're living, both people get it?
Right. Yeah. If they're living there, they both get it. If and we're going to get to this in just a second. When the spouse does pass away, then the spouse who was currently claiming only 50%, that spouse will jump up and now start claiming 100%, just like it was his or her own at the time of death. So you have, I know it's sexist, but this is just how easiest for me to explain. The husband passed away. He was drawing 100% of his own. The wife was drawing 50%, stay-at-home mom during the 50s. And now husband dies. She now can take 100%, the 1,000, and no longer collect hers. She jumps into his shoes. Then when she dies, it's gone. So you can get a full overview here if you want to see how the spouse qualifies in different situations if you have a child with you still, because there's some older adults who have retired who have an adopted kid. Maybe it's because they're grandparents, but the parents in between aren't doing their job. So the grandparents are taking care of the kids. So it happens. Probably even with some of the people you know. Can my dependent child or my grandchild actually receive some of my Social Security? And the answer is yes. The key here is they're your dependent child or dependent grandchild. They live with you. You take care of them. Nobody else claims them on a tax return. They're basically yours. You provide everything for them. As long as they're a minor or at least under 19 and still in high school, that still counts, or disabled up to 22. The child can get, like the spouse, up to 50%. The child can bring in. So that's going to help the family. So they don't want to penalize and say, hey, you're going to retire, but oh wait, you still have 2 dependent kids to take care of, so you really can't. Well, they're going to give the kids some money to help pay for some of their expenses during your retirement as well. They're going to give the kids, it's going to go into your name, but it's going to technically be into the kids. Now notice here, it is limited to the family max. So you can't just start having all these dependent kids and start taking 50% for every kid. At the absolute most, it's going to be 180% of the worker's full retirement. So if I was the worker again and I made 1,000, the most that my family could bring in, my spouse, kids, would be 1,800. So you're not going to just keep bringing in more and more money based on the number of kids you have. The most you could possibly get is 180%. The common would be 150. That's just if you and your spouse and you draw together on that one. This is just for the one Social Security that you're drawing on, remember. That's 150%. Tack on. So if it's just you and a kid, no spouse, you could still get 150 up to 180 depending on the situation. So what happens to the family when the primary wage earner passes on? Well, the widow, as I stated just a few minutes ago, the widow jumps up and becomes the actual earner at that point. In my scenario, she jumps into the husband's shoes and starts collecting 100% of what he was collecting. Now, if he started collecting early at age 62, then she automatically jumps into that and takes it at the penalty amount, but still gets to take 100% and is not left back at the 50% that where she was. The widow, so this is one of the exceptions. Remember, the normal age is 62. This is one of the exceptions. If your spouse dies, you can start taking, with a penalty, you can start taking retirement as early as age 60. And you can take it as early as any age if you have a child younger than the age 16 or disabled. You can start drawing some Social Security to help pay for life expenses. Notice here what happens if you remarry. You can read through here because this is going to be a common issue for many people. Notice here, if you remarry after you reach the age of 60, your remarriage will not affect your eligibility. So you can still take off of your ex-husband. That might be kind of weird. You know, your new husband, Joe, says, hey, why are you still collecting on that scumbag Mark stuff? Well, scumbag Mark had a little bit better Social Security, perhaps. And so you might as well. You can not do it if you don't want to, but you can. If you remarry before the age 60, and then that marriage ends, you may become entitled to receive benefits of the prior deceased spouse if all these other requirements are met. Basically, the one big requirement here is you were married for 10 years. 10 years or more, and then you get to take on that ex-spouse's Social Security if it benefits you. Benefits paid to the surviving divorced spouse won't affect. So let's say I had a divorce and then my ex-spouse started taking and drawing on that. That's not going to affect me or my current family if I remarried. That's not going to factor into that 150 or 180%. It's not going to affect me. Unmarried children, how much can they get after a spouse dies or after their caregiver, they're a dependent of? They can get up to 75% after the spouse passes on if they're younger than 18. So this is to your, basically the kids that you take care of. If you want to read more about this, this is, a quick overview. Go into it. If this affects you in more detail, click on this site. Funeral expenses. Now, this will be kind of dated for those that watch this in a later semester, but if you've ever watched when you were growing up, if this is more people of my age, if you watched Jeopardy growing up and you saw Alex Trebek, who just passed away, he did a lot of commercials for life insurance, and I can still hear him saying, $255 of your Social Security isn't going to pay much for your funeral expenses. That can be 10,000 plus. And that's true. Social Security will pay 250, 255, not very much toward your funeral expenses. How much will I get when I retire? All right, this is one of the most important ones. Calculating up, what am I going to get when I retire? How is Social Security going to do this? Well, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to look at your past 35 years of work history. Usually your most recent work history is going to be the highest. So that's why they look at the past 35 years. You could have worked 50, but they're going to stop it at 35 years, with your most recent ones usually being the highest. But they're also going to adjust it for inflation. So they're not going to look back and say, if you retired right now, 35 years ago, you're talking in the 80s. Well, in the 80s, people made less than they do now, probably quite a bit less. It's not going to be exact dollar for dollar by any means. There was quite a bit of inflation that has happened since then. So they're going to up your wages and make it into current wages, so you compare hopefully apples to apples. So looking back, I went to this chart here. Now, I don't know if this chart is exactly accurate. It seems a little far-fetched, but that's what they're using. If you look down here, they're saying your wages, if you worked in like 1984, then your wages here, you would multiply whatever you made by 3.3 back in 1984, and that's the equivalent in today's dollars. Back in 1999, they're saying you multiply whatever you made then by 1.77, and that would be today's dollars. So that's what they're going to use this. They're going to enter in your wages and then multiply it by this index factor to get what the wages would be like today in today's dollars. Then they're going to add all that up and divide by the total years. So they're going to add all of those wages, divide by 30 years to get your average. So that's where I'm at here. Now, the wages, these wages that they put in here, if you were like a doctor or a professional athlete, they will stop the wages at the cap for that year. So even though back in 1996, you made $500,000 as a professional athlete, they're going to stop it at whatever the cap was in 1996. It's not going to be 500,000. It's going to be somewhere around 70,000. Okay, so once you get that average number that you made over the 35 years, then you're going to divide that by 12 to get your monthly amount. And then once you have your monthly amount, then you can start doing the calculations to get what's known as your PIA, your primary insurance amount. This is going to be what your check would be if you got 100% and you did normal retirement age. So let's look at the formula. If you wanted to look at the formula in more detail, click here. But this is a good overview. And then I'm gonna work through this problem. They're gonna look at as long as you made at least 960. The first 960, they're gonna give you 90% of whatever your average monthly earnings were. And then for the amounts between 960 up to 5785, if you made that much, whatever that amount is, they're only going to give you 32% toward your Social Security check. Anything over the 5785, which is pretty rare, they're only going to give you 15%. So let's work through this so I can show, so you can see how it works. Let's say when you added up all 35 years and you divided it by 35, you had a yearly amount of 45,000. That was your yearly average earnings. Then what you're going to do is take that and divide it by 12 to get your monthly earnings. And that's what this guy is. All I did is took the 45,000 and divided it by 12. You can follow along on your calculator. So this is the amount that I'm going to be basing everything off of. The first 960, I take 90%. So if you take 960 at 90%, this is the first amount that I get that I can use for Social Security. Then I'm going to take either this amount or this amount, whatever is lower. In this case, I don't even hit this number amount. My wages, average wages, doesn't even hit this point. So I'm going to take my wages and subtract out the first 960 because I've already got wages for those. So I have to back that out. It's been used in step one. So then whatever's left, let's do it on the calculator. 3750 minus 960. I get 32% of the remainder. So take this times 32%, 892. Now, since I didn't go over this amount, I didn't have any earnings over 5785. So I don't even need to do step 3. What I'm going to get then as a retiree, if I take 100%, I just simply add in the 864 and step 2, 892. When I do that, my monthly check would be $1756. Or an average earning for the year, when you multiply that out by 12, I'm bringing in $21,000 in Social Security every year. So Social Security isn't going to pay you as much as you might have thought. Can you live on $21,000? So what I calculated here, the average amount that you're going to get, if you took 21,000 and divided it by 45,000, it's about 45%. So you got to kind of think, when I retire, can I live on 45% of my current earnings before I retire? And it may even be worse than that, because usually when you are about ready to retire, you're in your highest earning amounts. You've been working there longest. So maybe instead of even though your average was 45, maybe now right at that moment before you retire, you're actually making 55. So when you take the 21 divided by 55, now that's only 37%. Can you live on 37% of what you're currently making? If not, then hopefully you have 401k and different retirement plans to back yourself up. So what I want you to do is practice now. Example number 1, I want you to determine this individual made pretty good money. They have an average yearly of 77,000. So I want you to take the next 3 to 4 minutes and go through the calculation and tell me what their PIA is and their total yearly amount. Let's see if you got what I did. I took the 77,000 and divided it by 12. So my monthly amount, 6417. Now that's above that 5,700. So we're actually have to go to step 3 on this one. So I'm following along. Hopefully you have this up. The amount here in yellow. Following along, you take 90% of the first 960. Then remember, you take the lower of your wages, your monthly amount, or the 5785. In this case, it was the 5785. Subtract out the first 960 because you already counted that. You take that at 32%. So 1544 is the max that you can possibly have in line 2. And then take your monthly amount minus the last 85785 because you've already counted that in lines 1 and 2. Whatever's left, take that at 15%, so not very much. And then you're going to add the 864, the 1544, and the 94. Total PMI, or PIA, and then what that averages out to a year. Now it's not that hard to do, but some people aren't going to be really good with the math. And so you may say, well, is there a quick way for me to do that, to figure out that amount? And the answer is yes. Let's do it. If you click on this site here, or you can follow along with me and do it, we're going to do it for this individual. Person born September of 1980, what they actually are making right now, and then when they expect to retire. I tried to do the math when they hit 67, and so 2047. And I want us to be able to determine what's their benefit estimate, basically, what are they going to get per month, per year? And then we're going to try to answer some of these questions here. So let's go into the site. All right, so my individual, we're doing this quick calculator here, born 9/01/1980, inner earnings in the current year, 42,000. So you can easily do your own self in this calculation. And then your future date of retirement. So 9/2047. And we're going to do it for this part in today's dollars. I kind of want to get a comparison of what so it's not overblown by any means. We'll look at it in overblown numbers next. But in today's dollars, somebody making 42,000, they should expect 1679. And note, this is based on today's date, November 10th of this recording. So if you would have done this last month, your number could have been slightly different. Now we'll see what my answers were. I've done this pretty recently, so I'm going to hope the numbers haven't changed. But if you would have done this, say, 6 months ago, the number probably would have changed. 1679. So no, I did this really relatively recently. So the number is the same, 1679. Simply multiply that out by 12 months, and you can tell how much you would get. And then you can tell how much your other individuals would get. Their monthly benefit amount. It says for disability and survivor estimates, we assume that you became disabled or died today. So this is if you ended up dying, what you could possibly get, or your spouses and your kids. Okay. Let's see here. What earnings is the program assuming you made in the year 2030? All right, so we just click on this. See the earnings we used. Notice what they did is they assumed way back when you started working, they said, okay, probably at age 18, you were definitely working. Maybe you didn't make very much back then, but then your wages through your college years, you didn't make too much, but then boom, you started a full-time job. Your wages have continually went up. So you could definitely put in your own wages here to see the wages. And then notice here what they did is they assumed you didn't make any raises for the last 25 years. So you could say, hey, these numbers are a little low. Maybe I made 5,000 every year in a part-time job. And then I started out my first job, I made 29,000. You could change those numbers, and then maybe we change this one. I say here, assume 48,000 was used as an average, because yeah, maybe in 2020 you did make 42, but by the time you're in by the time you're at 2046, maybe you make more than that. 56,000, so average would be 48. So you put that into the calculation, submit earnings. Now you're at 1803. So you're because you made a little bit more, you get a little bit more. All right, let's go back. We're going to put in 42 again, back to the normal amount. That's what it tells me to do here. It says, okay, go back to 42,000, and I want to see what's it going to calculate for future dollars. So go back one more screen. Nope, 2 more screens. 3 more screens. Yep. So everything's back to our normal 42, inflated dollars, submit request. And it's saying, okay, based on today, what we think inflation is going to be like, instead of actually getting 1679, we think you're really going to be bringing in 4,033. Now you might think, ooh, that's great. That's a lot of money. But in the future dollars, that's the exact same as 1679 today. So yeah, it sounds like a lot, but it's really not. It's really the exact same. All right, last one. I think I have 1 or 2 more to finish us out here. What about those who are disabled? What if you're disabled? Can you collect Social Security? Well, it depends. It depends on when you actually get declared disabled. And you've done the paperwork, a doctor signs off. A couple doctors sometimes need to say, yep, you're disabled. We agree. And Social Security says, yep, based on these conditions, you're disabled. You need to have 40 credits, but if you're younger when this happens, you can qualify for Social Security. So it's saying before you hit the age of 24, if you get disabled, then you will qualify even if you have as little as 6 credits earned. Then it's saying, okay, if you hit the ages between 24 and 31, you can qualify if you have credit for working half the time between the ages of 21 and when you became disabled. So I give you this example here. If you become disabled at age 27, you would need 3 years of work, 12 credits out of the 6 possible years. Remember, it says between the time you were disabled and the age of 21, it was 6 years. You would need half of that, 3 years or 12 credits. Anyone 31 and older, you would have to have the number of work credits shown in the link. So you'd have to go here and figure it up. If I'm disabled, can my spouse also then collect Social Security? And the answer is yes. Again, starting at the age of 62, your spouse could. 50%, the normal 50% rule, if your spouse is going to get it. Child can as well, a dependent child. So if you're in the disabled, you would want to click here for more information on that. All right, just some quick facts here to tie us off here, and we'll finish up. In 2019, I looked it up somewhere, I don't remember exactly where, but the average monthly, oh yeah, that was on that one sheet. So now this was done, I don't know, this is for 2019. So the amount, wherever it was, I don't even remember now, one of the links that we looked at, it said this is the average month. This was the average amount for a retiree to collect. It's pretty close to this still, $1,474. And then I looked this up somewhere that, remember I had said that like 1 out of 5 live on Social Security alone. So they're living on that $17,000 a year. And for many at that age, that's fine. But at least they have that. If they didn't have, because they didn't maybe put anything away. So 22%, 33%, 1 out of 3 people put very little away into a retirement account. And they live on almost Social Security alone, makes up 90% of their income. And then just a few little quirky facts here. Who got the first Social Security number? Nobody knows for sure, but they do know the lowest Social Security number. The lowest number, the first card, 23-year-old man, who died at the age of 61 and never received any Social Security benefits. He never even hit the age of 65 at that point. But luckily his spouse didn't. His spouse got to enjoy a little bit of the Social Security. The lowest Social Security number, so this one would be very simple to remember and probably very simple to forge. Who was the first to receive Social Security? I thought this was a really neat little example. This individual paid 17 cents to Social Security, or received Social Security, 17 cents, the first to receive it. And the first to receive monthly benefits was this Ida. So, oh, sorry, let me sit back here. He was one of the first ones to pay into Social Security, 17 cents. Ida here, first to receive Social Security, she retired at the age of, she retired in 1939, so Social Security had just started up. She hadn't paid very much in. And she started collecting that next month or two. So for 3 years, she had been paying into Social Security and put in a grand whopping total of $24. Her first check from Social Security was just under that. So they were paying out quite a bit compared to what was being paid in at that time. She went on, she only paid in for 3 years, a total of $24. She collected benefits because she was well past her norm. She lived to be age 100. So she collected Social Security for 35 years and received $22,000 in benefits compared to the $24 she put in. That's a return on investment. That Ida hit the jackpot. All right, that's gonna take us to our full time. So we're gonna cut it off here. Start on that payroll project. You can read through it. If you have any questions, it'll be a time to ask throughout the week. By email, we can go through it in a little bit more detail. We hopefully will have time in week 4. All right, I'm gonna cut us off here.